And I do know that women fall in love and they actually believe what you all say. So this goes back to what Kayla was saying. There is a time, I'm not saying it's right at all. And a woman does have to account for what she does. But that's where you have to build the value back up into a woman because we've lost it. We've been told that we are sexually liberated and we can do what we want. And that is that's the theme of today. So we got to get that out the way and let them know, no, that's not it. But they're confused about that and loving this man who said they love them and should I have sex with him? And he's telling them, hey, I can't marry you and not have sex with you. They're actually believing what that man says. And either he waits them out, busts them down and leave or what have you. So it is a real thing.
I have a question.
It's not a nice thing to do, but I agree with you. It's still, we need to take accountability. But that comes to building up the value of a woman and just saying, look, this is what you got to do.
Yes, ma'am. If I say I'm not going to marry a 500-pound woman, I'm not going to marry a 500-pound woman. So if I can, so when you say manipulate, the only way I can qualify manipulation is if a man gets a woman to commit to a marriage and he marries her and he quits on her. But prior to marriage, can a man BS a no BS woman? If you're really not about no BS, can I really manipulate you and BS you prior to marriage?
Absolutely.
If she truly, how can I BS you? Okay.
Because we believe in you. I'm gonna tell you why. You can present yourself as a leader, a man in authority. You can do all of that, especially if I'm broken or have been. I'm not, I didn't say women know everything. I tell you all the time that we don't. We look for you all to guide us, whether you believe it or not. I know it looks like we don't listen and all of that, but there are some women who realize they don't have it all together and they look for you all for guidance. Actually, the reality is some women actually look towards you as kings. I mean, it may not always come off that way, but a woman that's looking to be married, she may see you as perfect, and she's looking for you to say, I got you, I'm going to marry you, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And she was going to believe in you. And she may even think that, marriage is going to come next. And prior to that, she may say, okay, I'm going to give myself to him because I believe what he's saying. But I also know that men, at least little thing can turn y'all completely off. Like I said, she might get drunk, fall off the toilet, and you be like, I was kind of liking her, but I ain't feeling her no more. But you hadn't stopped screwing her.
I think it comes.
But see, listen, I'm just saying. But you didn't. Men sometimes won't even go to the woman and say, you know what, the woman that I adore and love, I'm going to make my wife. She would never get drunk and fall off the toilet. Y'all won't do that. Y'all just keep on going until you get tired of her and decide to move on. But you would never tell her that I don't want to marry you. So you may not call it manipulation, but I'm telling you, women, our box is definitely tied into our femininity and our emotions. It's very emotional for us to have sex with a man. A man having sex with us, he's our husband already. You already know that. We loving him. So I just don't think we understand each other completely as men and women, and we kind of get it mixed up. That's what I mean by manipulation. I don't mean like you intentionally doing anything. Like
respectfully, I don't. A man you don't want can manipulate you. And again, if the man gets access to you prior to a marriage, you wanted to have sex with that man instead
Absolutely.
of establish a relationship. I believe we keep giving excuses for women, and there's 1,000 excuses we can go through. Versus if a man is not established, if he can't take care of a family or himself, if he's a bum, if he's a deadbeat, we hold him accountable. If a woman gave a man access prior to getting married, and if we raised right now 10 on the panel, if we had a case study or we came together to give young boys and girls instruction, we're going to tell that boy he has to be established before he can take care of a family. He has to take care of himself. And we'll tell that young lady, do not give no man access until there's marriage, until even your father meets you. And she don't have no father still. If we're going to say that some young ladies don't have a father, we would tell that young lady not to give no man access until the marriage is established. Is that correct or not?
Well, that's what we should be telling, and that's what I'm telling, but that hasn't been what the atmosphere has been telling. The atmosphere has been saying you're sexually liberated, you can do what you want. So now we got to reprogram women. I'm not saying that, I understand exactly, and I agree with what you're saying, but we got to change the mindset of the woman to understand that she needs to preserve herself, because I don't think that they believe that. They actually think that sex is a requirement in order for them to be married. And I'm not saying that.
My last point. If I want to be with you and I don't have the requirements to be with you, and typically it's resources and possibly my manhood, and you say I can't be with you and you explain that to me, most brothers after that encounter are going to go get those things. Unless unless they get the path of least resistance and they get women who give them sex. Same thing with you. If a woman meets me and she gets, let's say she gets burnt the first time, how many times does it become her bad decision making and then someone manipulating her? How many times do we qualify her being manipulated versus her continuously making bad decisions and not solidifying a honest relationship by not cheating her way to a marriage, not using sex or looks to get a marriage, more so make sure that man meets her demands or her standards.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just using the example that you gave to Kayla when you said that man truly loves you and he's honest with you. I'm using that example. I
I
still
did.
say she.
Right. So Kayla shouldn't give me access, right? No, I'm saying
No,
Kayla
no,
shouldn't
I
give me
agree
no
with you.
access to her, but we don't say that for us. Like there's no excuses for no women aren't coming to save no broke men, like to make excuses for us. No one's coming to save me or ill or trill if we're not established. The only women that deal with us, women deal with men based on conditional situations. If we don't have anything, ain't no woman dealing with us. But with you, if I'm in a relationship with someone and you do me wrong, trill, and not y'all personally, but the brothers, there'll be 50 brothers ready to save you. So we have to be accountable. You don't have to be accountable. You have so much. Men will continuously come to save you. When does it become bad decision making versus being manipulated? You wanted to have sex with that man.
So
Only because I thought he was going to marry me. I'm not talking about, listen, I'm talking about a different woman. I'm not talking about the woman who's out here that just wants to have bust downs and do that. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the woman that wants to be married, that's having a different mindset about men and wanting to be married. I'm also talking about the woman who may build with you. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about we're in sync. We're moving towards being married. We're not walking down the aisle yet, but there is definitely a promise because we're on the same page. But then something happens and you change your mind. Yes, she should have waited till she actually said the nuptials, but say she didn't. I'm just saying sometimes men can do things or a woman can do things. She still did something and it changed your mind. But instead of you telling her, I no longer want to marry you, y'all will continue on till you decide that, you know what, maybe I should move on. And I'm not, she still needs to take responsibility for it because, we're saying preserve yourself. But there are different women out there. Everybody is not looking to gain or take from a man. There are some women that really want to build. And I would say that's a woman that wants to be married and wants to have a life with a man who knows what you represent and sees all that in you. There's different women out
Right.
there. Everybody's
But
not the
it's,
same.
it's very odd to me that we can manipulate women and lay on their back, but we can't manipulate them to be wives. She
See,
wanted to lay on,
but I'm talking about the one that wants to be a wife, though.
then she would be a wife before she has sex.
I agree.